question 3, we are told that our first term is going to be 372 and the sum of infinity is 192. We are told we need to find our ratio. So how do we solve this? The sum of infinity is equal to a over 1 minus r. Sum of infinity is 192. Remember in a linear and a geometric sequence, the first term is equal to a. So a, we're going to write 372 over 1 minus r. We don't want this in the denominator, so we're going to multiply by 1 minus r, as well as this side. We're dividing by 192. 1 minus r is equal to we don't want 1 minus r, we can minus 1, so that we r is equal to 372 over 192 minus 1. But you also don't want negative r, so we're going to say negative multiply by negative 1, this multiplied by negative 1. The radius will be 15 over 16. For this question, we are told that we need to find the ratio of this sequence that will allow it to converge. In a geometric sequence, we know that the sequence will only converge if our ratio is less than 1 but greater than negative 1. So to do that, remember our ratio is equal to second term over the first term. To do that, we're going to say, what's our ratio? Take the second term, 2 minus x squared over 2 minus x. But this ratio, we want to put it in this inequality to be less than 1 but greater than negative 1. Remember here, we're finding the ratio. The first thing that we're going to do, remember it's squared, 2 minus x squared, meaning that there are 2 of these. So you can express it as 2 minus x, 2 minus x over 2 minus x less than 1, greater than negative 1. We're left with 2 minus x less than 1, greater than negative 1. We're going to take out 2 from the inside, but when we take out 2 and transpose it on this side, we also have to take it out onto this side. So we're going to be left with negative x is less than 1 minus 2, as well as greater than negative 1 minus 2 as well. Our negative x is going to be less than 1 minus 2, negative 1, but greater than negative 3. But we don't want negative x, we want a positive 1. What we're going to do is divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1. We're going to be left with x. On this side, we'll be left with a positive 1, and on this side, we'll be left with a positive 3. The most important thing about inequalities that you need to know is that whenever you multiply or divide by a negative number, your signs change. So here, we had our negative x being less than negative 1, but greater than negative 2. After dividing each value by negative 1, our signs change. It's no longer less than 1, but rather greater than 1. It's no longer greater than, it's less than. So the values of x that will allow the sequence or the series to converge are between 1 and 3, where x is greater than 1 but less than 3. But an important addition to this statement that we need to regard is that if we look at these terms, 2 minus x, 2 minus x squared, 2 minus x, the values that are allowing our sequence to converge are between positive 1 and positive 3. And an interesting value between these two that doesn't actually allow the sequence to converge is positive 3. It's positive 2. We're saying this because if we substitute positive 2 in these sequences, we'll not be able to find ratio that's greater than negative 1 less than positive 1. We can substitute by looking at, if we say 2 minus 2, this is going to be equal to 0. But 2, and then 2 minus 2 squared is going to give us 0. But the ratio between these two, t2 over t1, 0 over 0, is not 0. So our complete answer is going to be this inequality where x is greater than 1 but less than 3, and where x is not equal to positive 2.